welcome back to Top Guest Studio. Last week we had an amazing interview with the amazing and inspiring Chloe Maxwell. This week we have a family friend of mine. We have the amazing Steve Rooney. Over the past 16 years, he has ridden for many different overseas pro riding teams. He's also participated in the Commonwealth Games 1986, and he has done a lot of different stuff. He has managed Gold Coast Triathlete, and annually, as well as that, he does a cycling tour in France, in where the Tour de France is. So please help me welcome my special guest, the amazing Mr. Steve Rooney.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much for having me. A pleasure. A pleasure having me.
So yeah, welcome to the show, Steve.
Thank you.
Welcome over to Top Guest Studio. We have an amazing show this week. And guys, stay tuned for our next special guest next week. Alright, let's get into it. Now, Steve, we're going to ask you some very important questions.
Certainly.
Now, I've done a bit of research about you, but there was only a tiny bit of stuff about you on Instagram and all that. So, yeah, from that, I did some research. So, yeah, guys, let's get into this. Now, Steve, do you remember me coming into the shop and dropping some very impressive Michael Jackson dance moves on the dance floor?
I never forget it. When I walked in here first tonight, I asked you to do the Michael Jackson moonwalk straight away because I love it. That inspires me, mate. That was great. Every time Joe would come into the shop, I'd ask him to do a dance before we'd start doing anything else. So, very good. Remember it all the time.
Now, Steve, can you tell the viewers and me more about the Commonwealth Games Team Time Trial and the funny bike you rode?
Certainly. Back in 1986, the bikes were a little bit different to the nowadays bikes. And we had a 100-kilometre teams time trial, which is 4 men, and it's basically go from the gun as fast as we can. The fastest time wins. We were setting world record times at that stage, riding the 100 kilometres in 2 hours, and sometimes just under 2 hours, which is just over 50 kilometres an hour average. Unfortunately, at the Commonwealth Games, one of our riders had a bit of a mishap, and we lost him after 5 kilometres into a 100-kilometre race. And we went from favourites to finishing 4th, which is probably one of the worst positions to finish in any race. So it was from an absolute high to a low, but things are meant to be, and that was what it was. But had a ball doing it, wouldn't miss it again for anything. Like, for anyone that wants to strive ahead and do any sort of sport and make it to the pinnacle, go for it. It's a good feeling.
Now, I remember you used to coach someone very important in my family, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I used to coach your sister. I coached your sister for probably nearly a year and a half. Good student too, by the way, good student. Yeah.
Now, I remember you went there one day and she had a little mishap. She had a little crash and
Yes.
broke her elbow.
Certainly did. I was in Adelaide. I was in Adelaide when that happened for the Tour Down Under. And I normally coach on that day, and she went to a different group
team.
there, different team, and unfortunately she came off at around about 40-odd kilometres an hour.
Yeah.
And landed on her elbow and broke her elbow pretty severely. And I remember your dad called me that night. I was in my hotel room and told me what happened. And it's not what you want. You understand in cycling, things are going to happen because cycling is on 2 little skinny tyres. And at some of the speeds we get to, it is very dangerous, and we don't have any protection around us. So, but you don't like to see. I don't like to see, ladies or girls fall off, or older people fall off, or kids, because they're so vulnerable, and for the older and the kids, So you don't like to see anyone fall off.
No.
So it was just an unfortunate accident, which does happen.
Now, Steve, we know that you guide a tour through France, which is the pinnacle, which this is the Tour de France. You guys ride the route where they do the Tour de France, and you guys go and watch that, don't you?
Yes. So, Joe, this is my 7th year in doing that, and my little business, Steve Rooney Cycling, is my little business there, and we take over Australians or New Zealand, anyone in the world to go over to the tour, and we base ourselves in the Alps. So up in the mountains, it's where I used to live when I was racing for the European team, just south of Geneva. And so we're based in the Alps there, and we take up to 16 people to ride the Alps. The tour's done before, during, or after. So, and we go to 3 live stages to watch the tour come past, and the atmosphere, Joe, is incredible. I could just imagine you on the side of the road doing your moon dance when the bunch is coming past, because people love to see that. The atmosphere before the riders come through is amazing, which a lot of my clients say is second to none.
Yeah, so people, you heard first. So, Steve, what has been your greatest cycling achievement?
Obviously making Commonwealth Games is very good. I have won 3 Australian Championships. I won one in 2017 in my hometown at Currumbin, just before the Commonwealth Games come on. And that was probably even winning 7 races in France and in other parts of Europe, I loved here, but my father unfortunately passed away, and I got to win my Australian title in front of him on my hometown just before that happened. So for me, that was my best day on the bike, apart, in front of everyone else, because it's family and friends, and that's what set me apart with that one.
Now, we understand you have 2 sporting daughters.
Yes. So Shay, my oldest daughter, who's 16, she just finished 3rd at the Australian Athletics Championships in the 3,000 metre. So ranked number 3 in Australia, which is for her age, which is I'm very happy with, and she's loving it. And she just finished 3rd at the Queensland Cross Country Championships last week, so she's running very well at the moment. And my other daughter, Holly, she is a cheerleader that does some amazing flips, amazing, and I don't know how she does it. Didn't get that from me.
Yeah, we all know that.
Yes.
Now, did any of the overseas cycling teams have a problem understanding your Aussie slang?
Yes, it does. A lot of them do speak English, which is great. But you know me, Joe, I like to speak. I love talking. I love talking to people. So I actually learned French. So I speak with part of my tours, and by racing for my team in Switzerland, where I lived in Switzerland, in Geneva. It's the French part of Switzerland. So I started to learn French so I could actually speak with people. But in saying that, Joe, when I'd say some of the accents when I was first learning it, they were laughing a lot, because it's a different accent, and so it's very important to get that accent right. So
Sure is, Steve, sure is. Now, what sports and activities do your girls do?
Okay, so mainly cheerleading now and running, but they have competed in some triathlons, where you're at the triathlon as well with your sister. So they've done some triathlons, they've done some swimming, they've both done running. I haven't got them on the bike cycling yet. People ask me, are they going to come on the bike cycling? Like I said before, young kids on the bike, it does worry me a little bit, even though I coach a lot of young kids at the moment. And plus they're my daughters, and you always keep that little apron string a bit tight sometimes. But I want them to do what they want to do, and at the moment they've found, I want them to play tennis. So I can sit in the stand and watch them, but they're doing their running and they're doing their cheerleading, and they love it, so I'm all for it.
Now, what has been your proudest moment as a dad?
Cool. When they're born, obviously, because we didn't find out what we were having, so I was standing there like a goalkeeper, just waiting to see what come out, because we didn't know what we were having. So that was pretty special. And my mum and dad and other grandparents were outside the room, and they heard me yell out, "It's a girl!" And they all come running in, because I yelled it out that loud, so they knew what was going on. Poor old Tracy's laying there going, "Oh, what? Everyone's coming in now," like we said today. So that there. But I have to say, when my daughter got that 3rd in the Australian trials, that was a really cool thing.
Mm. Now, what was your scariest moment on a bike, Steve?
Whew. I've had a few. I've had a few from descending the Alps in France when I was racing over there at 90 kilometres an hour, 100 kilometres an hour, and you don't think you're going to pull up going around the corner. But to be truthful, it was actually down the back of New South Wales where a car come past me, a big four-wheel drive at 80 kilometres an hour.
Yeah.
And I was waving because I teach my group to give the cars a wave to say, hey, thanks for that.
Yeah.
As I waved, because I heard him coming, I just waved because I thought he was going to give us room.
Yeah.
I put my hand up to give him a hello shout, and he hit my finger
Oh.
at 80 kilometres an hour, and that scared me. It scared me because I'm older now, obviously, and then I've got a family to go home to, and that scared me. But you know, I've been hit by a car before. A drunk lady hit us and put me in the hospital for 4 days, and I was going to give up cycling then because it is scary out there. And the nurse said to me, he said, Steve, we have people that fall out of buses, trip over footpaths, so keep doing what you love. So to anyone out there, do what you love because, you know, it's what we enjoy.
So, Steve, what are you doing now?
Okay, I still have a coaching group where I coach young triathletes on the cycling component, so I'm still doing the coaching there. And I do my Tour de France tours, so that's once a year that I do that. And also now I'm working for a company called Australian Pasteurised Eggs. So I've gone from bikes to eggs. That's a bit weird, isn't it? It sounds really weird.
Mate.
But it's a new concept into Australia. There's only 8 facilities in the world. So we pasteurise eggs to take the salmonella risk out of eggs. We're the only ones in Australia that do it. And I'm the national sales executive at that at the moment. So it's something that I never dreamt of doing. But I'm enjoying it because it's something different.
We'd only thought you'd be into bikes, mate.
I know. I've still got my tours and my coaching, my own riding. So it's sometimes a bit of a relief there to have not bikes around home.
Well, you were the manager at GCT at one stage,
That's right. That's exactly it.
Especially with a good mate of mine, Noel.
That's right, Noel. Noel, who's living down south now, so I don't get to see Noel as much as we used to. But yeah, he'll be part of GCT for life.
Yeah, so we understand that you coach some of the teams in that.
Yes, I coach. I do some coaching I was doing some with the Australian triathlon team and also the Queensland triathlon team. So I was doing that here in Australia and also in France before my tours, because where I based myself was in the same town as what the Queensland and the Australian team were. So we do some over there. And then ladies like Emma Moffat before Rio Olympics, I did 8 months solid with Emma, and she got a brilliant result, finishing 6th at the Olympics. And you know, little things like that. From beginners, who I'm coaching a young girl at the moment, we're just doing stuff on netball courts and grass to get used to riding, up to Olympians. It's great because everyone learns something different. So it's very exciting.
You must love coaching the up and comers, Steve.
Yeah, I do, Joe, because you see more improvement.
Yeah.
You know, someone like you, Emma Moffat and Emma Jackson's, that they are good. They are good, and so the improvement is very small. It's a lot smaller. But then when you have someone that's starting off new and they're like a big sponge, they want to absorb everything, and you can see the improvement going. One of the young girls I just coached to the Australian Championships. She won the Australian Championships just last Sunday on the Sunshine Coast, and to watch her improve in her cornering, her descending. It puts a smile on my face. It's a buzz.
You gotta love it, Steve.
I do
love it.
I do love it. I love it. I love watching your dancing too, mate. Because I wish I could dance like that. That'd make me improve. And
Steve, can you tell me more about your Tour de France tours?
Certainly. So with France, we take over people to give them an experience. It's not just to go over there and ride hard. It is a hard ride because it is difficult. We're in the Alps. But my goal over there is to take people over for them to enjoy everything, the riding, which they're going to get in with. In the Alps, you're going for a lot of climbs, so we're climbing a lot, but also to take in the atmosphere of the Tour de France coming through those towns live, but also the food through there as well. I eat many croissants and baguettes, I tell you, Joe. I come back, I think I put on more weight when I'm coming home than I do over there. So it's just something to give the people an experience and to look at it from there. I have a few friends who are pro cyclists that race the tour, who do come and see us and say hello, and try to make it a lifetime experience to the people I take over, something they can enjoy and tell their family and friends.
Yeah, so we do share a great friend, Mr. Robbie McEwen.
Certainly, yes, certainly. Robbie has been an absolute legend at the Tour de France. To win the green jersey in the Tour de France once, but 3 times, is something special. That's incredible.
He's pretty popular. Now, I met him at the 4ASD Kids riding. I gotta tell you, he was pretty inspirational by telling me what I can do better when I'm going up the hills.
Yes.
You know, he was actually helpful.
That's it. Yeah, his experience is something to listen to. Now he's doing some commentating on the TV. I love listening to him on there because he knows the know.
Yeah.
And it's good to hear something like that because not everyone can do that, even though you have the experience. But to be able to get out there and do it with the experience and be good at it makes it a good combination.
And he does work at a cafe now at Nobby's.
He does. He's down there. Can you imagine him coming out with a bit of an apron on and a couple of coffees under his hands?
Yeah,
that's it.
Now,
he'd be pretty fast around the tables, wouldn't he?
Hell yeah. Now, Steve, we have a short and sharp answering question round.
Okay.
Now, this is called the Top Guest Rapid Fire Round. Now,
As nervous
ladies
as a
and
race.
gentlemen,
This is nervous as a race.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for people who don't know what this is, or people who have watched our recent videos, this is a short and sharp question and answering round for our guests. So, guys, get ready. So, Steve, favorite chocolate bar?
Snickers, picnic, Mars bar,
All right. Favorite bike or bike brand?
Cervelo.
Oh, hey. Favorite thing to do with your family?
Go to the beach, picnic, have dinner.
Favorite place in France?
Ooh, that's a good one. Annecy, Axelimar, and Nice.
Favorite TV show?
Survivor. I love Survivor.
Oh.
I've applied for Survivor a couple of times.
Did you enjoy coaching my producer Nat?
Yes. We had some good times out there, and we talked a lot of tactics and things in the shop there as well. And like as I said, watching him improve, taking things on board, great thing.
And how many eggs in a dozen?
It's normally 12.
Oi,
Yeah.
correct answer. Now, guys, I just want to thanks for coming to the channel, Steve. And guys, stay tuned for our next great episode of Top Guest Studio. My name is Joe, and this is my studio, Top Guest Studio. Thanks for coming. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and comment. So guys, we'll see you next time for another great episode of Top Guest Studio. Thanks for coming, guys. Bye.